Laborites, welcome to the Roseau Valley, in particular the Lily Valley. On behalf of the Dominica Labour Party, we welcome you all here tonight. Do I see those from Mont Prosper? Mont Prosper, are you in the house? Right. Loda, are you in the house? Cochrane, where are you? Wharton, where are you? Trafalgar, where is Trafalgar? And welcome all of you from all the 21 constituencies in Dominica. Tonight, we are here to formally present to you the Manifesto of the Dominica Labour Party. And to do so, we have our 21 candidates here, 8 of whom will present. We as well have with us tonight Ambassador Vince Henderson, who is the manager of the campaign 2014 of the Dominica Labour Party. Our friend Reginald Austri is here tonight with us, but he won't be speaking tonight. He's resting his throat for the weekend, so you can look forward to seeing him on the weekend. Of course, your parliamentary representative for the Valley, Dr. John Colin McIntyre, is seated at the front. And although they were all presented to you on Saturday night, I am requesting our new candidates with us to stand so that you can recognize them. We have with us Catherine Daniel, Rosalind Paul, still to come is Athenia Benjamin, Cassius Daru as well, Dr. Martin Christmas, who actually lives in the Roseau Valley. We understand that the traffic is so heavy that a number of them are stuck in the traffic and unable to get here. But brothers and sisters, they started off with an economic symposium, they said, where Joseph Isaac spoke about Grenada having trawlers, and the chief fisheries officer of Grenada dispelled that. He said that was not a fact. He also promised to give each farmer in Dominica $10,000 and said that they would ask the European Union to suspend the projects so that they could renegotiate, a process that takes about 5 years. But after they realized that Joseph Isaac spoke a lot of nonsense, he was silenced. We never heard from him again. Then another economic guru emerged among them called Thomson Fountain. He spoke about in creating 5,000 jobs within 1 year. At the same time, he told us that if they came into power, that the economy would experience a dip, that things would get worse. So he's saying things would get worse, and at the same time he's saying they would create 5,000 jobs. Isn't that total nonsense? Then Thompson, who was discredited because of his dealings with the DAS, was again displaced. And their latest economic guru is their political leader, who comes along, and his first pronouncement on fiscal matters is that they would give back the public servants the 5% that they gave up during the austerity measures, not realizing that that was already done. So we do not know what they will come next with. But what this tells us with a manifesto based on 14 years of experience, 14 years being tested and tried in the fires of economic management and fiscal prudence. And with us tonight to present to you first is Mr. Honorable Ian Douglas, who will tell us, share with us the accomplishments of the Dominica Labour Party. Let me hear you.
Labour! Labour! Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Roseau Valley. Welcome to the launching of the Dominica Labour Party Manifesto. And how many of you all listened to the presentation at the Dominica State College this morning? Is that a serious party? I can't hear you. Is that a serious party? Is that a party that is ready for governance? Is that a party that is ready to take Dominica into the next 5 years? Into the next 10 years? Into the next 15 years? We have a plan, brothers and sisters. And that is what serious governance is about. That is what the Dominica Labour Party is all about, brothers and sisters. Ever since we came to power in 2000, we have been focused on the job at hand. We met an economy in crumbles. We met an economy in shambles, brothers and sisters. The United Workers' Party between 1995 and 2000 had brought the Dominican economy to its knees. That is what they had done. They left a legacy of debt, brothers and sisters. They left every single institution in this country owing, and who they were not owing, they left on the brink of bankruptcy. They owed the National Bank. They owed the Aid Bank. They owed the Dominica Social Security. They never even paid the contributions of the public servants to the Social Security. Now you hear Lennox Linton talking about reinstating of the 5% stabilization levy. That had been reinstated, brothers and sisters, years ago. That is a man that is not in touch, brothers and sisters, with the real issues of governance in this country. And politics is not play. Politics is not bebel. Politics is not for little boys. The task of nation building is for serious men and women. Men and women who are committed to national development. And that is what we offer you in the Dominica Labour Party, brothers and sisters. Though the country was broke when we came to power in 2000, we set about establishing the diplomatic relations with our friends that we had established in opposition. You see, we're not like the opposition of today. Our time in opposition was well spent making friends with serious countries around the world. And today, we have the People's Republic of China, who are one of our greatest friends, brothers and sisters, and they will always come to our rescue. That is what a serious party and a serious government is all about. We have today the Bolivarian Republic of Venezuela, brothers and sisters. And although President Hugo Chavez is gone, we have a friend in President Maduro, and they continue to help us. Now you must know that, God forbid, perchance, brothers and sisters, Siatuka, the Dominica Labour Party, was to leave office tomorrow morning, there would be nobody who would come to the aid of Dominica and United Workers' Party. Nobody knows Lennox Linton around the world. Nobody knows Lennox Linton in the region, brothers and sisters. And United Workers' Party have no friends anywhere, brothers and sisters. That is why it's important to keep the Dominica Labour Party in power. We expanded our capital program. We expanded our capital program and we started the task of reconstructing the infrastructure of Dominica, brothers and sisters. Today, we have hotels being built. Because of our aggressive foreign policy, we have the Cabris Hotel and Spa going on right now. Perhaps one of the only hotels being built right now in the Caribbean is built right here in Dominica, the Cabris Hotel and Spa. Just last week, we signed another agreement, brothers and sisters, for a second hotel north of the Cabris in Portsmouth, the Range Hotel. That is the work of the Dominica Labour Party, to create employment for our people in Dominica. That is what we have been doing. Because of Venezuela, brothers and sisters, we are continuing the Petit Soufriere Rosalie Road, brothers and sisters. That is the work of the Dominica Labour Party over the last 5 years. And in education, we were up there this morning, and a spanking new building, an edifice to the work and the focus and the attention of Roosevelt Skerrit and the Dominica Labour Party stands the Dominica State College, brothers and sisters. Before, only 200 students in Dominica who left high school could enter the doors of the Clifton Dupini Community College. Today, in the last 5 years, every single student leaving a secondary school in Dominica, from Granby to Portsmouth to Marigot, can walk into the gates of the Dominica State College, brothers and sisters. And what is even more, next year, you do not have to leave Dominica to go to a university overseas to do a degree. You will be able to pursue your degree at the Dominica State College, built by Roosevelt Skerrit and the Dominica Labour Party. That is what we spent the last 5 years doing. Brothers and sisters, in agriculture, all over Dominica, feeder roads have been reconstructed. Farm access roads have been built. Assistance have been given to our farmers. Fertilizer have been given to our farmers, subsidized by the government of Dominica. In Portsmouth, brothers and sisters, the new fisheries complex was built because of the Dominica Labour Party and our diplomatic prowess with the government of Japan. Brothers and sisters, I don't know when last any of you all drove from Point Michel to Scott's Head. When Hurricane Lenny passed through Dominica, Scott's Head was cut from Soufriere, brothers and sisters. One man even lost his life in the rough seas. Today, you can drive on a highway from Point Michel to Scott's Head. That is the work of the Dominica Labour Party. So when you see Scott's Head people voting Ian Pinard overwhelmingly, they know why they support Ian Pinard and the Dominica Labour Party. Can you afford to lose that kind of working government? Can you afford to discard that kind of focused government? Can you afford, brothers and sisters, not to have Roosevelt Skerrit as the Prime Minister of Dominica? Brothers and sisters, that is what we continue to do. If you pick up our manifesto of 2009, every single promise made in that manifesto has been fulfilled or is being fulfilled by the Dominica Labour Party, brothers and sisters. Just last week, we renamed the airport the Douglas Charles Airport. 5 years ago, if you were coming from North America or Europe, when you got to Antigua, you had to sleep in a hotel. Tourists wanting to come to Dominica were discouraged because they had to sleep overnight in Antigua or in Barbados, and they couldn't get to Dominica on the same day of their arrival. Because of Roosevelt Skerrit and the late Hugo Chavez, the friendship that exists between those two men and those two countries, we have night landing in Dominica today at the Douglas Charles Airport. So much so that night landing, brothers and sisters, have allowed 40,000 more visitors to arrive in Dominica at night at the Douglas Charles Airport. Is that a government you want to throw away on the 8th of December? Is that a government you can afford not to have in power on the 9th of December, brothers and sisters? These are the bread and butter issues of this campaign. This is what matters in this campaign, brothers and sisters. Not the foolishness we hear United Workers' Party talking. Tell them if they want to debate, come and debate on the issues. Not on personality, not on character, brothers and sisters. We will debate them on the issues because we have a record of management and we will continue to work for the benefit of the Dominican people, brothers and sisters. That is what we will continue to do. Because of our relationship with the People's Republic of China, you have a first-rate agricultural station at 1 mile in Portsmouth today. Every single plant you wish to plant, you can obtain the seedlings from the Chinese agricultural mission at 1 mile, brothers and sisters. That is the work of the Dominican Labour Party and the leadership of Roosevelt Skerrit over the last 5 years. And that is what we want to continue for you in the next 5 years. Will you give us a chance to do that? Will you give us the opportunity to continue to work for you? Brothers and sisters, we started our work. We want to continue. The coffee plant is up and ready for production. All over Dominica today, farmers can get coffee plants free of charge to plant coffee. Acres and acres of coffee are being cultivated today in Dominica, brothers and sisters, so that we can become one of the leading producers of Cafe Dominic in the region, and I may dare say in the world, to diversify our agriculture and our economy. That is a working government. That is what we spent the last 5 years doing for you, brothers and sisters, in this country. Brothers and sisters, when we came to power, the reputation of Dominica was in the gutter. We heard of characters like Christopher Scares that United Workers' Party wanted to bring to Dominica. The offshore sector was in the garbage bin when we came to power. The offshore industry was in the gutter when we came to power. And we had to repair the image of Dominica. Today, we see that because of the new citizenship by investment program, investors are knocking at our doors ready to do real concrete projects to create employment for you, the young people and the citizens of this country. That is what we continue to do. And while the world is in recession, while things are tight all over the world, while persons are losing their jobs in our neighboring islands, brothers and sisters, every single body in Dominica have kept their job. Not one single man jack have been sent home. Not in the private sector, not in the public service. Not one single man. That is management at its best, brothers and sisters. We have even gone ahead and we have expanded the working population. The employment agency, brothers and sisters, are employing young persons in droves. That is what the employment program is doing. Now, a lot of young people can go home with their salary to help their mother and help their father and help their parents to pay lights and to pay water and to put food on the table. If United Workers' Party comes to power, Lennox Linton tells us he will scrap those programs and he will send you home, brothers and sisters. That is what he said. The youth of Dominica and the young people, these are the things you have to remember when you walk into the polling station and you take your ballot on December 8th. Remember that this election is about your future. This election is not so much about Labour or United Workers' Party. This election is about the survival of Dominica and the Dominican people. And the only party who can secure your future, the only party who can secure a better Dominica, the only party that can take you to the promised land, the only party that can bring about true, lasting, meaningful development in the Commonwealth of Dominica is the Dominica Labour Party, led by Maverick Honorable Roosevelt Skerrit, brothers and sisters. That is the seriousness with which we must treat this election. Labour! 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 Brothers and sisters, everywhere around the country, regional industry have been building water catchment areas and giving people water. People that have never seen pipe-borne water in their communities since they were born. For years, people 70 and 80 years, when those pipes were open, people were crying tears. All over Dominica, brothers and sisters, we have been doing waterworks. We spend more than $100 million, brothers and sisters, bringing pipe-borne water to the people of Dominica. If Iolibla will be remembered for roads around Dominica, and if Eugenia Charles will be remembered for electrification of Dominica after Hurricane David, Roosevelt Skerrit will be remembered for bringing water to every single home in the Commonwealth of Dominica. Labor! Labor! Brothers and sisters, this is serious business. Serious business. Our housing program, the housing revolution, have touched the lives of every single person in Dominica. I see so many single mothers here who are burdened under rent. Their salary could hardly pay their rent and feed their children and buy clothes for them. All that they were working for had to go in rent, brothers and sisters, every month. And we know what the cycle of poverty can do to a person who cannot put food on their table because they have to pay their house rent. Otherwise, the landlord will put them out. Roosevelt Skerrit and the Dominica Labour Party, through the housing revolution, have been putting roofs over your heads, brothers and sisters. Food, clothing, and shelter. That is what the Dominica Labour Party is all about, brothers and sisters. So in this election, in this campaign, walk with your keys. When you come to rally and you come to meeting, walk with your key for your house you get and shake your keys, brothers and sisters. Shake your keys. Shake your keys. Shake your Labour Party keys. That is what we are all about, brothers and sisters. In Saint-Sauveur, we built houses. In Silver Lake, we built apartments just the other day by Ambrose George. We opened up a new apartment building, and the one in Buffalo State is still going on, not finished yet. And we will continue to provide housing for the people of Dominica. That is what E.O. Libla teaches us in the Labour Party. The Labour Party of the 1950s is the same Labour Party in power today in Dominica, brothers and sisters. Stand firm with the Dominica Labour Party. Hold on to what you have. Hold on to what you know. Don't go out, don't throw away what you know for what you don't know. Don't throw away what you see for what you cannot see, brothers and sisters. Party we boyo ever mete pie, brothers and sisters. Labor, labor. Brothers and sisters, I could go on and on. I could go on and on about things that we have done over the last 5 years. But the night is long and we have many speakers. And we will continue to remind you why you have to go and vote the Dominica Labour Party. So this election is not about labor rights and workers. Don't castigate former workers' supporters when they join the Labour Party, because they're seeing what they have. Welcome them. Embrace them. Welcome them with open arms, because they realize that the only way that this country will continue to move ahead is with the Dominica Labour Party. They realize in Lennox Clinton not serious. Monsieur Passe, Monsieur Papawe, brothers and sisters, to do the work of developing this country. And before I leave, there is one little issue that I want to touch. One issue that is hurting my heart, brothers and sisters. One issue I feel very sad about, pain in my heart. Brothers and sisters, I left my office today and I was driving across the new bridge that connects the Goodwill to Roseau, close to the stadium, brothers and sisters. I was driving north on that bridge and that bypass that Labour Party make. And I saw one of our billboards torn in half, brothers and sisters. I drive down by the Pottersville Bayfront again, and another billboard was torn in half, brothers and sisters. That is what these guys have resorted to. That is what they have come down to. They cannot beat us on the issues. They realize the election has been won already. They realize they lose the election already. So they're resorting to violence. They're resorting to hooliganism. They're resorting to gang warfare, brothers and sisters. But thank God, the Dominican Labour Party is a peace-loving party. The Dominican people and the vast majority of Dominicans are God-fearing. And we will do like Jesus Christ. When they slap you on the right cheek, turn the left cheek, brothers and sisters. When they attack you, walk away, brothers and sisters. Pray for them, for they know not what they do, brothers and sisters. Forgive them, for they know not what they do. Because like Jesus Christ, when they stoned him, when they gave him a crown of thorns, when they whipped him, when they gave him a cross to carry to Calvary, when they nailed him to the cross, when they put him in the tomb, he died, but he rose again on the third day. He rose again, and so on the 9th of December, we will rise again. We will rise again. They can tear our billboards, but they cannot tear our spirits. They can tear our posters, but they cannot tear our resolve for a better Dominica. They can tear every single poster in this country, but they will not stop us from gaining the victory that is ours. Labor, 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 forward ever, forward ever. I cannot hear you. Forward ever, forward ever, forward ever. I love you. I thank you, Laborites. We have done the work. Now let us go to the polls and re-elect the Dominica Labour Party. God bless.
Labour is now all you understand why the Portsmouth people must vote for Ian Douglas, and he will be bringing home the seat to Labour come December 8th. Labour! Brothers and sisters, the Roseau Valley has been described as the tourism and energy heart of Dominica. And there are many other attributes in the Roseau Valley. And your proud representative of the valley is Dr. John Colin McIntyre. A man born in the Roseau Valley, raised in the Roseau Valley, and working hard for the Roseau Valley. And he is our next presenter, Dr. John Colin McIntyre.
Labour! All right, ladies and gentlemen, first of all, let me welcome my colleague candidates with me here tonight in Trafalgar. It is certainly a pleasure to have colleagues with us here today. And of course, most important, you the supporters. But in particular, I want to welcome the residents of the Roseau Valley. Okay, take it easy. All right. And we'll take it by strides. We start on the hill. Mount Prosper, you here? Yes, and ladies and gentlemen, Mount Prosper is very, very vigorous. And we're going to teach them a lesson in Mount Prosper. Let me hear you say, Labour. Right. Then we go down to Wharton Waven. Wharton Waven, are you here? Lovely. Very strong there as well too. We come across to, we leave the base for last. We have Focani here in the house. Focani, and of course, we have Cochrane. Cochrane is here with us in the house. Loda is here with us. Focani, Coptol, Shufford. But least but not last, Trafalgar. Yeah man. Listen. That's the base. But ladies and gentlemen, I'm here tonight to discuss the benefits we have achieved from the Labour Party in the Valley. When I got into the race the first time, it was right over there about 10 years ago. It was certainly a pleasant time. My mother and my father, they were still alive. I can remember before I got into politics, I had to get a word from my mother. See, I'm a man, I believe in the ladies, eh? Yeah. And you see, and all the sexy ladies, they're with labor. That's no doubt. All the sexy ladies, let me hear you say labor. Yeah, man. Yeah. And ladies, you know, from my heart, because tonight is for me, it's not about no speech business. I'm going to talk to you from my heart. And the reason why you're so important to us, the labor women, is because you made us men. And brothers, you're here tonight with us, and we were made by women. A woman was the one who carried us. Now, these fellas on the other side, the blue fellas, I don't know what they were carried by. But I know as I was nurtured in my mother's womb, I had the chance to suck some milk there to get me strong. And I'm strong here today. Let me hear you say, labor! Yeah, man. Okay. Now, in terms of development for the Roseau Valley, we'll start in Cochrane first. In Cochrane today is very, very sad, as Honorable Douglas mentioned, when we saw some guys there, of course from the Blue Party, pulling down our posters and pulling down our flags. But I said to my people there, let's hold on. No fights yet. No fights. I say yet, but no fights. Because you know why? They are struggling. They are struggling, and we're going to beat them. And we're going to bust their tail real hard this time. But I ask you to be safe. Let them go on still. Let them go on. Let them go on. Now, in Cochrane, we have gone on. We have done. When I went to Cochrane some 10 years ago, there was a back road there linking Springfield to Cochrane Village. When I was a vet traveling there, it was a very, very bad road. And I said to my people, you know, I'm going to build that road for you. Now, I'm a guy, I believe in serious business. And we'll talk about that just now, too. And I decided when I was the Minister of Agriculture, I built that road for the people. And they can know we have a link between Springfield and Cochrane Village. And I want to say to the Cochrane people, I know the road, the one from River Estate to Cochrane, is in a bad state, but we're going to fix it up. We're going to fix it up. And I want you to bear that in mind. Cochrane people are very nice, ask you to be peaceful, remain peaceful, and let's run this program. Now, leaving Cochrane, we come across to Fokani. Fokani many, many years ago, in excess of 30-something years ago, was cut off by a landslide in Montfouet. Now, a lot of you don't know where's Montfouet. And I thought, you know, I hail from Fokani. That's where I was born. That's where I was raised. But I went to church in Trafalgar. And of course, wrong the valley, but I went to church in Trafalgar. I played in Trafalgar, and we had a good time here. But I said to myself, I cannot be from a particular spot in the valley and don't do anything for them. I can't take them for granted. So I was able to build a lovely road for them for the first time in their life after 30-something years. Now, you may wonder why we had to do it in such a short time, but there's no other government before. Well, the Freedom Party did something. I'm not going to lie about that. And I hail the Freedom Party from that. But in terms of the representation that happened, that occurred before, there was nothing for us. And you know, people, the reason for that is the parliamentary representative in those days, they never cared about the Roseau Valley. There was no real connection between the Pal Rep and the Prime Minister in those days. That was Edison James. And Edison James never worried about the Roseau Valley. They don't go to any funerals in the Roseau Valley to escort our loved ones to the cemetery. They never came. I was the one, they were the people at every single funeral. Now, in terms of caring for the people, so because of that, there was no real connection with the representation and the development of the Roseau Valley. So we lagged behind. We lagged behind very seriously. So we were able to help Fokani. We went to Loda. And in Loda, my dear people, you see what we have done with Loda. We had some very, very bad roads from Bath Estate, all through Trafalgar, all through Loda. They were terrible. Very, very bad. Under my reign as Pal Rep, we were able to get the RIM project to build a road in the Roseau Valley. And especially in Trafalgar, Loda, and going up through these there, and we have a positive road today. And we take these things for granted. But I'll be honest with you, we should not take them for granted. And we still have some more work to do on this road in terms of the in terms of the Central Roma area, where we'll cut and repair this road. Trafalgar has benefited a lot. There are some little concerns here. I see some of my vendors here. And no, we're going to take care of you. Don't worry about that. But your heart is with labor. We'll take care of you. We will take care of you. And I say to you, put your trust in your government. We'll never let you suffer. Never. Ladies and gentlemen, continue the infrastructure development in spite in spite of the fact that Mon Prosper, in those days, they were cold with us. They were cold with us. But I said, you know something? I'm not going to give up on these people. And I did not give up on them. And today we see Mon Prosper here strong with us. Let me hear you say, Labour Mon Prosper. And listen. And they are blazing the trail and they're ready to put that X for Labour. And we talk here of the youth. And they're going to work with us this time and we're going to teach them a lesson. The base is going to be balanced right now. And we're not going to give it up. And I say to you, the people of Mon Prosper, I stuck with you. I stuck with you when the rest were very blue. But I never gave up on you. This is why I love you. And this is why you're here with us. And this is what we're going to say, Labour! Yeah, man, Labour! Serious business. Right on. Now, we get into Wharton Waven. In Wharton Waven, different type of program. I saw every single Labour right here tonight. You have been to the warm waters in Wharton Waven. And we enjoy it. It's lovely. It's good for your body. We relax in it. It's good, you know, we go there. But we have done a lot for Wharton Waven in terms of their spas. The spas we go to, we have worked with every single spa in the Wharton Waven area to help to develop them. And more, we want to help the people. There's one concern in Wharton Waven we have there is the road. The road Wharton Waven is a very, very wet area. And because it's wet, asphalt doesn't work there too well. And our plan, Wharton Waven, is to build your road for you. We'll build your road for you. We have built most of the roads in the valley. We have 2 main roads, 2.5 main roads left to be built in the Rose Valley. One in Cochrane, one in Wharton Waven, and the half of Mon Prosper. We will build these roads. In Mon Prosper, we looked at agriculture as well too. We didn't give up there because, brothers and sisters, the best spot, I mean, don't feel no way the rest of the island because I love you all. But the best spot for agriculture, when I speak of vegetable crop production, it's right in Mon Prosper. And the reason for that, because I like to educate when I'm speaking sometimes, and we'll speak health tonight too in a kind of a political way. Now the reason for that is because they have this sort of soil for it. And I've said I'm going to help these people. And we have a lot of women, ladies, farming in Mon Prosper. Last week I got the Chinese to go up to Mon Prosper, the Chinese agricultural technical team to go up to Mon Prosper to teach our farmers how to use plastic mulch. Recently I brought them a lot of inputs, fertilizers, sprayers, brush cutters, agrochemicals, you name it. And we deliver to our people up there. And of course we deliver to all the people in the Roseau Valley. And my brothers and sisters, my aim is to make sure that you have what it takes in terms of, sustainability. I want you to be able to do things to really sustain yourself. Now, in terms of education, I am very, very strong on education. I cannot help it. Because I believe your only way to take yourself out of poverty is through education. Don't make nobody fool you about that. The only way to take yourself out of poverty is through education. And this government, the Dominica Labour Party, has done well for education. Just today we were at the State College launching the manifesto with the business sector and civil society. And I must say, it's very impressive what I saw there. And just in the Roseau Valley right now, we have gone tenfold in terms of the number of students going to the college. And that is serious for us. And I want to urge the parents who are here tonight, whenever I speak of education because I went to school and I know the importance of school. And I want to commend the Labour parents here. Some of us, not all of us in those days could go to school and higher education. But we have taken time off to make sure that we send our children to school to be educated. And I want you to take advantage of the opportunities that this Dominica Labour Party has placed in there for our people. Labour! Right on. Okay. Now, in terms of the free transportation for our children, many parents, and we don't disqualify here. We don't think about this one is blue, this one is red. No. We go across the board. And many of the people here, our Labourites, and some of even the blue supporters, their children are benefiting from free transportation to school. This is because of the Dominica Labour Party. And we have to be careful with these fellas. If they get in there, they'll want to stop it. And we cannot allow that to happen. No, it's not going to happen. Not as long as we keep Roosevelt Scarrett and the Dominica Labour Party in power. Brothers and sisters, this thing is in your hand. And I mean, we're done there already. In terms of health, and we're not talking about a health topic tonight. We're talking about health in politics. We have done seriously for health in the Roseau Valley. when I deal with my people in the Roseau Valley, I don't just go to you, visit your home and talk to you and tell you about, I want a vote. That's not what I do. I go to a home. I look at the problems in the home from a health point of view. And I talk to my brother, Irvin, a great guy who has helped us in terms of in the Roseau Valley, checking our people for us, Irvin McIntyre. He has helped us. We must commend him for that. Many of you here know how it is with Dr. McIntyre Irvin. And of course, my sister Rhonda, who is a pediatrician, we send you all to her for free medical attention. These people are dedicated people. I come from a family that care about people. And most recently, I have placed one of my sons at your service again, Dr. Shane McIntyre. And together with these free doctors in the valley, we'll take care of our people from a health point of view. This is not about people being doctors and want to charge our people. In the Roseau Valley, when you go to these doctors, you're sure that you don't have to pay. You don't have to pay. And brothers and sisters, this is what I hail from. I hail from a very, very serious family. And, we're not going to let it go. Now, the geothermal project, we saw some time ago, we had quite a bit of opposition to it. But not from you. And of course, I respected the fact that some of our people, they were concerned about the geothermal project because they were misled and ill-informed. They gave them bad advice. Right behind us here is one of the wells we're talking about here. Are you feeling any rumbling taking place here? No, there's no rumbling because, this is something we have beneath our feet. We have energy beneath our feet. The last time I checked, there was no oil here yet. I hope we can get oil one day, but we won't have oil in the future. But we have geothermal power under this earth here. And we have it right in the Roseau Valley. And we have to use it. And this government, when we went through there, we did it under best practices. We made sure we did the necessary EIAs. Those fellas across there, these little bandits, you remember them, these blue bugs? They came and trying to mess up our program, but they couldn't do it. We went way out over the world globally to get the best people to come in here and teach our people. They tried to stall it in Loda. They tried to stall it in Mont Prosper. They came to Trafalgar, but they realized the base in Trafalgar is too strong. They couldn't trouble it, so they retreated. And I want to commend our people in Trafalgar for holding strong to that base and tell these fellas to stay out from our business because our aim is to get a cheap, clean, and green form of energy for Dominica. The valley has the hydro program about 30%, and what we want to do right now is put in the other 70% in terms of geothermal, and the valley is called the energy nerve of Dominica. Labor! Labor! Brothers and sisters, tonight is our night in the valley, and I must say the crowd is building here, and I love it. But let's do a little bit of the other kind of politics now. The other kind of politics. And that kind of politics is educating you a little more. But though you have all passed your exams already in politics, that's why you're here. But when I say that, I want to look at the candidates right now. At the party. I'm not a man who like to criticize people much because that's not my style. But when something is wrong, I have to say it's wrong. I listened to Lennox Linton. First of all, this fella doesn't really come to the valley. We don't know him here. The man is not the type of man we want to reel us in the valley at all. At all, at all, at all. Number one, Roosevelt Scarrett, my good friend. And I'm sure most of you all know that because you all see us together in the Roseau Valley all the time. He is a man I can talk to. He is a man I've spoken to about development work for our people in the Roseau Valley. And he has listened to me and he has assisted me. We have that connection. Now, when you take a man like Lennox Linton and you put him on the side here, my dear people, I went to school. Not everything, in terms of school, is the main thing, but it's important. You cannot in this day and age put a man to lead us versus Roosevelt Scarrett, who is a qualified man, an experienced man, a man with a heart, a man who cares about the elderly, a man who cares about the single mothers and the brothers here. We cannot make that mistake. This election is about you. There's no way we can look at Lennox Linton versus Roosevelt Scarrett. There's no match whatsoever. Look at today. Look at today. We launched our manifesto today. Instead of the guys trying to get back to their drawing board and do what they have to do to try to at least live up and match up to show the population in Dominica that they have something to match. They're going about now trying to do a kind of a smear campaign. They're trying to pull down posters. They're cutting up posters. And we have to be careful about that because there's no way they can catch up. This is our first week in the campaign. It's like a boom. It shocked them. It's like a boom. Fellas are caught off guard. And what they're going to do right now, they're going to try to fight. Today I see even around here, you see two little blue flags. I won't trouble the fellas blue flags. That's not my style. No interest in that. They pull down all our flags, that's cool still. But just your presence here and the red of sea, that's enough red for me. I don't need these blue flags are a joke. Now let's get to the candidates now. I listened to the candidate last night, blasting me. He spoke a lot. He said he has no problem with me. He really said that. I'll give him the praise on that one. But I heard some of the speakers talk about me last night. I laughed really because, you fellas talking and they're just making stories. But I want to say something to you. You cannot leave a man who is proven, tested and proven for a man who is inexperienced. You cannot do that. Number one, you cannot put in a party here in Trafalgar who the people don't want. Number two, UWP cannot be in Trafalgar again. We cannot. We're not doing that. Number three, the gains we have made as a Dominica Labour Party, we cannot reverse them. We cannot reverse them. These fellas, last week, we heard Lennox Linton talk some nonsense about reinstating the 5%. The man is so ill-informed. He so doesn't know what was going on in the country. He spoke of that. Yes, the public officers, they sacrificed. And you know why we sacrificed? Because we inherited. I was working as a minister in agriculture before, as a vet. And you know why we sacrificed? Because what we inherited, I remember, and people listen to that. I remember when the end of the month would reach, and you had to wait till around the 15th to get a salary, and you wonder if it's going to come. That was under UWP. It was under UWP. And we know that, I know that for a fact. And then we got into the politics. We won the election. Blessed memory, Honorable Rosie Douglas and Blessed Mary and Piero of blessed memory. And now the champion maverick, Roosevelt Scarrett. And the changes that we made in those days was sacrificial. And what we had to do, we had to make sure we had to take that 5% to save this country. And brothers and sisters, it was painful for the public officers. They did it. For a man who is aspiring to be a prime minister, to be so ill-informed, to say that he's going to reinstate it, it shows you that the man is out of touch. We cannot elect people that to be in this country. We cannot. And I listened to him some time ago at Londonderry where he said he's going to buy an airline. I have been around the world, around the Caribbean, with the Honorable Prime Minister, where we speak with different, okay, look like our Prime Minister is coming down through that crowd there. Yep.
Okay, brothers and sisters, the Honorable Prime Minister is about to make his appearance. And what is going to happen? Listen. What is going to happen when his vehicle reaches the basketball court? It will stop there and he will walk from the basketball court to this stage. So we're asking you to clear a clear path, so that the Honorable Prime Minister can walk from the basketball court to the stage in a comfortable manner. Labour!
Are you ready? Are you ready? Are you ready? I'm ready. Be ready. Be ready. She ready. Be ready. more years. You ready? I ready. Be ready. She ready. There is no other going on the way we play, but labor is the best for Dominica right now. 5 more years, 5 more years, 5 more years, 5 more years, 5 more years. 5 more years. 5 more years. 5 more years. I read. We ready. We ready. She read. We ready. You ready? They ready. We ready. Change is not an option. Labor is a must. So our mission, that's what we trust, will always favor us with 5 more years. 5 more years. 5 more years. 5 more years. 5 more years.
Labour! All right, the Prime Minister is here with us, and that's nice. And the Roseau Valley have done well here, and welcoming our Prime Minister here. But brothers and sisters, I just want to touch on 2 more points before I close up with you here tonight. And I want to talk about a little bit about water and housing in the Roseau Valley. Now, many moons ago, the folks in Shawford, when that estate was sold privately to them, there was no water for them and no roads. But under the water system that we took from Livier Blah, which gave Trafalgar a new water supply, Watton-Waven, Coptall, and we were able to take water to Shawford. First time in their history that they had pipe-borne water, and first time also Coptall had pipe-borne water that was properly sanitized. So that's a great achievement under my reign in the Roseau Valley. And also with housing, as we speak here right now, just at the back there, that is where it's referred to as Lily Valley. We acquired in excess of 5 acres of land there, and we're going to have in excess of about 28 lots for our single mothers, for the elderly, and for our young men and women wanting to build a future for themselves. You will get land there, and you'll get land under this Dominica Labour Party. This is what we're doing. In Cochrane as well too, we acquired and we paid for another 5 acres of land, and we're going to have in excess of another just under 25 lots again in Cochrane for our mothers, for our brothers and sisters. In Watton-Waven, we extended some more lots there as well too. So in terms of housing, we have done well. And I want to say to the Prime Minister that the Roseau Valley stands in helping him to eradicate pit latrines in Dominica. We're going to do it because as I speak with you, people are benefiting from housing assistance to eradicate pit latrines once and for all. And this is what we care about in terms of raising your health standards. So when our children go, take a little thing, even our old queens, and listen to that, people, listen to that. Imagine when we get to about 70, 80. That's when we relax in our sunset days. You know it, you know how it is. Every day we must use the bathroom. We must. Imagine seeing your poor grandmother with her knees going, and she have to come with a stick, and she move in there in an old pit latrine. That cannot be right. So under this Prime Minister and this Labour Party, we'll eradicate them and put some ease for our people. Let me hear you say, Labour. Labour. I want to hear you say louder, Labour. And I, from my heart, from the Roseau Valley, with all my friends and my family here, they're my family, I want to say thank you to you for coming and giving us that support in Trafalgar to launch our manifesto. And the Roseau Valley will be following that trail till we take it to victory. We are not going to lose this election. And the Valley is going to be one of the first seats to be counted in the bag of the DLP. Let me hear you say, Labour! Labor! Thank you, brothers and sisters. Certainly a pleasure addressing you here tonight. Thank you.
Are you ready?
Labor. Could we ask our brothers and sisters with the Lapo Cab please to contain their enthusiasm? Hello. Lapo Cab, please, give us a break. Okay, brothers and sisters, as you know by now that this morning at the State College, we had a historic event taking place, which was a soft launch of the Manifesto of the Dominica Labour Party. And one of the presenters this morning was the Honorable Prime Minister Roosevelt Skerrit. And this was a presentation that was filled with very moving moments. But for me, there were two significant moving moments at the presentation this morning. The first was when a young student of the college, a young man, stood up and said, after having heard the presenters, including the Prime Minister, that he is now convinced that his decision to vote for the Dominica Labour Party is a right decision. Young people, you hear this? And of course, the other very moving moment for me and for those who were there, I'm sure, was when another young student, a young lady, asked the Honorable Prime Minister, when he retires, how would he like to be remembered? And he had a very simple response. It was, I want to be remembered as someone who loved you and loved Dominica. So this is the man, brothers and sisters, who has led the ship of state from 2000 to 2014. And through his visionary thinking and his own commitment to this country has brought us to higher and higher levels of achievement. It is my privilege now to invite him to the podium to give you an overview of the Manifesto of the Dominica Labour Party 2014.
Hello. I want you to bear with me tonight. With my voice. As you know, I have been speaking every night from the 5th of November. So I want you to bear with me tonight. Let me greet all my colleagues here present, and in particular, Dr. McIntyre, who is going to be re-elected as the Member of Parliament for the Roseau Valley. And let me greet the thousands of you who are here this evening to say to the whole of Dominica that we are here to secure the future of Dominica. I also want to greet the thousands who are viewing this live across the globe, and also those listening on Kyrie FM, and also, I believe, live on Mapping TV. My dear Laborites, the manifesto is here. And very soon from now, you will be getting your own copy to have at your home, to read with your family, and to know what Labour has in store for you, the people of Dominica, for the next 5 years. But before we hand them out, I want to highlight some of the contents of this beautiful document. I am extremely happy that I can get in your hands, a mere 8 days after the public pronouncement of the date of the general elections, a manifesto. This manifesto is a special document for a special occasion. It comes at a time when we are preparing for a 4th term in office. It therefore provides a summary record of the major achievements of the Dominica Labour Party since 2000. It also gives a clear outline of the plans we have for taking forward the process of social and economic change over the next 5 years. We have been the change agents for 14 years, and we intend to continue changing things for the better of all Dominicans. I know that most people will not at first read the document from cover to cover. They will look in the contents and turn to the pages that concern them. So the document is divided into about 30 sections for easy reading. This manifesto is a collection of carefully chosen policies and programs. Together, they have the capacity to transform Dominica. Every single topic is connected to another. For example, education is connected to creating wealth and employment. We don't want our graduates to sit at home and wait for jobs. We are creating opportunities in modern agriculture, in sports, in the cultural industries, and in ecotourism for enterprising young people to earn a decent living. This manifesto puts a considerable amount of emphasis on the economy. One of the most important lessons we learned during the past 14 years is that in the new global marketplace, we cannot take chances with our economy. If our economy does not grow, we cannot provide essential services to our people. If we borrow too much money at high interest rates, we could be in trouble. This manifesto therefore starts with a review of the many challenges we faced during the past 20 years or so. The technological revolution that gave us the computer and the internet also led to the financial crisis of 2007-2008. The problems associated with the current recession have affected nearly every country of the world. Luckily, we in Dominica escaped the financial and economic tragedies that brought other countries to their knees. We learned from the mistakes the United Workers' Party made. And from 2000, we embarked on developing new policies and programs in keeping with the New World Order. These policies are embedded in this 2014 manifesto. In my letter, at the front of the manifesto, is a clear statement of our policy, and I quote, "Let me remind you, however, that the Dominica Labour Party saw these challenges not as disasters, but as opportunities to use our God-given resources to pursue the vision of a prosperous, peaceful, and just Dominica. We are all united around the DLP pledge to you that we shall not give up our efforts to improve the standard of living and the quality of life of our people. In order to achieve this, we shall continue to diversify and grow our economy, simultaneously making it resistant to external shocks and more sustainable over time. We believe that this can only be achieved by increasing the investment in our human resources, by continuing to educate and train our people to become more enterprising in the emerging, highly competitive global village. Throughout the process, we will act responsibly in mobilizing the financial resources that are necessary to make things happen, end of quote. We knew from as early as 2000, and we know now, that the Dominica Labour Party was the best equipped party to succeed in the New World Order by merging political independence with economic security, prosperity, and social justice. It was also clear that the UWP misunderstood and continues to misunderstand the New World Order that was and still is evolving. From the inception, we knew that we had to stabilize and grow the economy. We needed finance to invest in projects, put money in people's pockets. So we developed a new foreign policy and we made friends with nations that could help us. This investment was carefully spent to boost the economy and create employment. By 2004, the economy had been stabilized and actually grew by 3%. Unfortunately, this rate of growth was affected by Hurricane Dean and the global financial and economic storms after 2008. Despite this, we have been able to achieve modest growth and even increase the social services to our people. While all this was taking place, we developed a series of policies and programs which have already begun to bear fruit. During the past 14 years, we have been able to reduce poverty from nearly 40% to 28%. Right now, we have completed the preconditions for social and economic development. We have built the runway and are ready to take off. We have created an environment that supports growth and development. Dominica is now one of the best places in the Caribbean to start up or expand a business enterprise. When you look at the manifesto, you will see in section A3 the vast improvements we made in transport by land, air, and sea in Dominica. We have improved 60% of our major road network, and in particular, the Dr. Nicholas Liverpool Highway and the Roseau to Portsmouth Road. Upgraded the Douglas Charles Airport and signed an MOU with a private company in China to build a new international airport at Crompton Point. We have started the Roseau renovation and Portsmouth enhancement projects. We're about to acquire a ship to export both primary and manufactured goods to neighboring countries. In section A4, we have made it clear that the policy of the DLP is to ensure the conservation, protection, management, and use of the nation's forest resources, while benefiting from the productive capacity of the forest for goods, products, and services in such a way that they are maintained or enhanced for present and future generations. We have also adopted the low carbon climate resilient development strategy of 2012 to 2020, which has subsequently given us access to over EC $100 million to help prevent climate change. Section A5 shows that we have decided to abandon our reliance on fossil fuels to drive the economy, develop the geothermal energy sector to produce cheap, clean electricity for local consumption and export, Section A6 shows how we have been promoting entrepreneurship and micro-business development by boosting the Dominica Youth Business Trust, the National Development Foundation of Dominica, the Employment and Small Business Support Unit, and the National Employment Program to help potential entrepreneurs. Reviewing the curriculum of the Dominica State College to meet the needs of entrepreneurs for technical and managerial skills. Section A7 focuses on agriculture and fisheries and shows how from 2000, government came to the rescue of farmers through the Aid Bank and helped them to diversify farming with the production of coffee, cocoa, livestock, and a range of root crops. This produce will be assembled, sorted, and dispatched from the new abattoir and pack houses. We made it clear that agriculture would remain one of the pillars of the economy of Dominica to ensure food security, foreign exchange savings, and integration with tourism and export. In addition to this, the Modern Agricultural Center, built with the support of the People's Republic of China, will help us to modernize agriculture. The Dominica State College will help with the training of young farmers. The acquisition of a vessel and agricultural trading houses in selected markets will help boost exports. Fisher folk throughout Dominica will be trained and help to modernize fishing. Section A8 deals with manufacturing and agro-processing. It indicates how the availability of cheap, clean geothermal energy will boost the manufacturing sector. 2 new industrial estates will be built to attract investors. Manufacturing will grow from 4.5% to 10% of GDP. Section A9 explains how tourism will be diversified and developed to account for 15% of the country's GDP. Towards this end, the Tourism Master Plan of 2013 will be fully implemented. Ecotourism will be supported by educational, cultural, heritage, and sports tourism products. The environment for investing in tourism will be improved by reviewing all legislation, fees, and other charges applied to transactions within the sector. The Citizenship by Investment program will focus on investments in the tourism sector. Dominica will become more visitor-friendly with Roseau renewal and Portsmouth enhancement projects and a new international airport. Dominica will be promoted as a nature island, a health and wellness center, and home of the Kalinagos. At least 5 new hotels in Roseau, Portsmouth, and the Caribbean Territory will be built. The Dominica State College will be assisted in establishing a hospitality faculty. In the area of social services, ladies and gentlemen, closely linked to the overcoming of the economic challenges are a host of social policies and programs. These are the means of ensuring that economic development is sustained and that the wealth of the nation is more equitably distributed. In Section B1 on poverty, I commit my government to reducing the poverty level to 10% by 2020 and to continue relentlessly to wipe out ignorance, poverty, and injustice in Dominica. In Section B2, we show how the family will be strengthened by providing family life education in schools and colleges. Communities will be equipped to provide support systems for families. With respect to B3 health, we outline how from 2009, free healthcare was made available to Dominicans below 18 years of age and those over 60 years of age. We intend to introduce a national health insurance system for all Dominicans in collaboration with PAO. In addition to this, a new hospital will be built in Roseau. Another new hospital will be built in Marigot. We shall expand the Portsmouth Hospital under the management of Ross University. We shall continue to tackle CNCDs, HIV/AIDS, and the cancers that's affecting so many of our women and men in Dominica. Section B4 on education explains how education with related training is the most important tool for economic and social development. We therefore invested heavily in education and worked towards the achievement of universal access at all levels of education by Dominicans by 2015. As part of this major achievement, the proportion of secondary school graduates who went on to Dominica State College rose from 7% in 2002 to 87% in 2014. In the next term, secondary and tertiary education will be transformed to meet the current and future needs of the nation. Civics, culture, technical and vocational skills, agriculture, and hospitality will feature prominently in the curriculum. What's more, a new polytechnic will be built to provide more technical and vocational training for our young Dominicans. Particular attention will be placed on science and technology. Every effort will be made to ensure that Dominicans have access to information and communication technology facilities. Also, an ICT park with units for training and business enterprises will be established to create new jobs in the ICT sector. And I'm saying to the secondary and college students that come January 2014, every student will be outfitted with a tablet to assist them with their education. The government of Venezuela has made a commitment to provide us with in excess of 7,500 tablets for our students in Dominica. And I know when the workers talk about tablets, they're talking about those by Bullseye Pharmacy. Section B6 on housing records how the DLP created the housing revolution with the assistance of ALBA funds. By 2013, over $26 million was spent on housing, with about 3,500 beneficiaries, including the Kalinago people. In the next term, the DLP government will continue the housing revolution. It will replace all dilapidated houses and pit latrines by 2020. Build at least 1,500 new affordable homes. So those of you who are waiting for homes in the next 5 years under Labour, we shall address your concerns. Continue to train more craftsmen and women for the building and construction industry. Section B7 addresses our youth. We all agree that today's youths are the first fruits of independence and the products of the new world order, the new nation builders. It is for this reason that in 2004, the National Youth Policy was formulated to ensure that young people were empowered to drive the economic and social development of the nation. The Youth Development Division and the National Youth Council of Dominica have risen to the challenge. They have been helping young people to acquire technical and entrepreneurial skills through the DYBT, the Employment and Small Business Support Agency, NDFD, and the National Employment Program. Also, every effort was made to attract young people back to agriculture through the 4-H, to ecotourism and ICT. Moving forward, your government will continue to help young people to avoid antisocial behavior through a wide range of programs. We shall continue to strengthen the Youth Development Division, the NYC, and other youth organizations to channel unemployed young people into opportunities for work experience, training, and employment in fulfillment of the National Youth Service obligations. Section B8 on gender makes it clear that Dominica cannot move forward, leaving a large and vital segment of its population behind. I know that women have been the backbone of Caribbean society for centuries, and they have the ability to transform Dominica. I am saying to you, the women of Dominica, that Roosevelt Skerrit, as your Prime Minister, has your back. He has been there for you, and he shall continue to be there with you. And with 4 highly competent female candidates in the forthcoming general elections, the DLP is on target to give women increasing access to representation at the highest level. Section B9 shows how the Kalinago people of Dominica have benefited from the policies and programs of the DLP. In the next term, every effort will be made to get them to participate more fully in ecotourism as well as cultural and heritage tourism projects. And when we go to the Kalinago territory very soon, we shall outline a wide range of policies that are all contained in this manifesto for the Kalinago people. In section B10, sports, it was shown how sports were grossly neglected tools for national development prior to 2000. Since then, under the DLP, all sports have been encouraged to improve health, create opportunities for lucrative careers in all dimensions of sports, and to help diversify the tourism industry with sports tourism. Going forward, the DLP will build an indoor facility in Stock Farm for a wide range of sports, with the emphasis on basketball, netball, and volleyball. Construct public tennis courts in select communities. Build an Olympic-sized swimming pool in Roseau. Continue to invest in sports by upgrading playing fields and hard courts in every community. Offer tax exemptions for sports equipment as an incentive for more people to get involved in sports. Give more support to sports clubs. Encourage unemployed young people to participate in sports in meeting their National Youth Service obligations. Culture and the arts, B11, will be used more extensively to promote and to demonstrate our independence. The DLP government will also provide training facilities and support to artists to earn a decent living from their talents and boost our cultural tourism. In section B12, public service, it was clearly stated that the effectiveness of government depends on the productivity of the public servants. That is why the DLP government introduced public sector reform from 2005. In the next term, the DLP government will continue to provide training for staff to keep them abreast of changes in technology. We shall complete the expansion of the Public Service Training Center. We shall construct modern government offices on High Street in Roseau and in the town of Portsmouth. All public officers who have served for 10 years or more will be appointed forthwith. We shall increase the remuneration of public servants according to the performance through regular increments. Section B13 civil society explains that a fundamental policy of the DLP government is good governance, which requires the participation of citizens in the decision-making process, both individually and collectively. In the next term, the DLP government will continue to fund and work closely with the respective organizations to achieve the goals of women, youth, the elderly, the disabled, environmentalists, and other categories of Dominicans. Since the policy of the Dominican Labour Party is that no one will be left behind as the country becomes more prosperous, Section B14, the social safety net, promises that the spotlight will be kept on vulnerable members of society, such as the poor, including the Kalinagos, as well as our children, our women, the elderly, and the disabled. Projects like Chances, Yes We Care, and the Prime Minister's Public Support Program will be expanded and will be continued under the Dominica Labour Party. In Section B15, Law and Order, Justice, National Safety and Security, the DLP government gives a commitment that every effort will be made to keep Dominica a law-abiding, safe, low-crime jurisdiction for both citizens and visitors. Section B16, Enhancing the Diaspora, outlines the policies and programs that will be used to get more Dominicans abroad to make a greater contribution to the development of Dominica. One of the most spectacular achievements of the DLP during the past 14 years was the development of an enlightened foreign policy. Section B17 shows how the new One China policy began to bear fruit from its inception in 2004. Since then, the benefits included construction of the Windsor Park Sports Stadium, rehabilitation of the roads of the Portsmouth Road, improvement of housing in the Caribbean territory, gaining access to an ongoing agricultural technical cooperation, upgrading medical facilities, disbursing flood relief, offering scholarships to students, construction of the State House, the Conference Center, the Commission's Building, and the Dominica State College, and the commitment to build the new international airport, and a commitment to build the new hospital to replace the old Princess Margaret Hospital. Because our objective as a government, my dear friends, is to ensure that new hospital, we do not have to go to Martinique and Guadeloupe and Barbados and elsewhere to seek medical care. It is our mission to ensure that every Dominican can remain here and receive the best medical services any country can afford. Similar close relationships were established with the Bolivarian Republic of Venezuela, which led to the signing of the Petro-Caribbean Agreement and the joining of the Bolivarian Alliance for the Peoples of America, ALBA, in 2008. The benefits that flowed from these agreements included access to low-priced petroleum products, over US $11 million to finance the housing revolution, grants for hurricane recovery, the National Security Program, the construction of city fence walls, agricultural diversification, tourism infrastructure, scholarships, and the Douglas Charles Airport upgrade. We have also benefited from the healthcare and scholarships from Cuba and investments from the Kingdom of Morocco for the Cambridge Hotel, Resort, and Spa. Going forward, the next DLP government will continue to exercise its right to choose partners in development carefully. My dear Dominicans, ladies and gentlemen, friends all, in keeping with the theme of the 46th anniversary of independence celebrations, the Dominican Labour Party calls on all Dominicans, including the public and private sectors, in civil society organizations, in communities, and in families, to take greater responsibility for our livelihoods and our social and natural environment. We shall be taking a leadership role in these changes by creating the conditions for all stakeholders to play their part. We shall continue to be more entrepreneurial and innovative. We shall continue to be the main driver of growth in the economy by increasing government's contribution to GDP. We expect the private sector to be more enterprising and innovative, and to take advantage of the opportunities that present themselves at home and abroad. Your government also expects civil society organizations and community-based organizations to play their part in raising the standard of living and improving the quality of life of our citizens. In conclusion, ladies and gentlemen, Dominica has made tremendous progress under the Dominican Labour Party over the past 14 years. We have relentlessly pursued the vision of Dominica as a prosperous, peaceful, and just society. That vision is now within the reach of realization. The measures with which the manifesto deals will kickstart the process of economic emancipation that is necessary for prosperity. The established policies of equal opportunity and social inclusion will ensure that the wealth created is more equitably distributed than if left to chance. The Dominican Labour Party is grateful to all the stakeholders in development for their support. But none of this progress would have been possible without the support of you, the people of Dominica. And our brothers and sisters who reside overseas. I am very, very grateful to the tremendous show of support that you have given to me as your leader, and to the Dominican Labour Party, and to the government over the years. And this is why I give a commitment that I will do everything in my powers to create a better way of life for you, especially the less fortunate in our society. We are now on the threshold of making history with a great leap forward in Dominica. But we know for sure that these projects will not continue without the leadership of the Dominican Labour Party. And therefore, ladies and gentlemen, on election day, vote for Dominica. Vote for yourselves. Vote for your families. Vote for your children. Vote for the future of your children. Vote for the Dominican Labour Party. This election is the most important election in the history of Dominica. Your vote on December 8th will decide whether Dominica goes forward or whether Dominica goes backwards. You know what Labour can do. You know what Labour has done for Dominica. And you know what Labour will do and shall do for you, the people of Dominica. So let us not fool ourselves, ladies and gentlemen. Let us not fool ourselves. Without Labour being in office for the next 5 years, there shall be doom in Dominica. Because none of the United Workers' Party people have the capacity, have the contacts, or the resources to do what we need to do for Dominica. I can tell you, and I'm not boasting here, ladies and gentlemen, but I can pick up the phone and make contact with the Premier of China and speak to him and say to him that I need help for Dominica. I can pick up the phone and speak to President Raul Castro and say that we need doctors here in Dominica to help us improve our medical care system in Dominica. I can pick up the phone and call directly to President Nicolas Maduro of Venezuela and speak to him on his cell phone and say we need help for Dominica. And I tell you, as I said before, my community day of service was spent in Venezuela. And it was the first community day of service I missed in 17 years in Dominica. And it was spent discussing with President Maduro of Venezuela about our continued relationship with Venezuela. And I got a firm commitment from the President of Venezuela that he will continue to provide financing required to continue the national employment program for our young people. And I was able to secure some 12 million US dollars for the improvement of the ports in Dominica. So Labour has the contacts, Labour has the vision, Labour has the programs, Labour has the policies, and Labour has the money to implement the programs and the policies it has enunciated in this manifesto for Dominica and for Dominicans. So I thank you, ladies and gentlemen. This was just an overview of the manifesto. My colleagues, some of my colleagues, will speak more to the details of some of the programs. So I said to you, Labour is winning the 2014 general elections. Labour must win the 2014 general elections. And Labour is going to win with a landslide in 2014, ladies and gentlemen. Labour all the way. Labour for Dominica. Labour for the next 5 years, for the next 10 years, for the next 15 years, for the next 20 years in Dominica. Because you, the people of Dominica, know that Labour is the best thing for Dominica now, today, and tomorrow, and in the future. Thank you for listening to me. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. My colleagues will continue. God bless you, and God bless Dominica.
Malgré tout ça, c'est moi qui l'ai gagné. Après un doudou, moi constaté, c'est qu'il a eu merci mon Dieu. Nous allons
The Honorable Prime Minister give you an overview of the manifesto of the Dominica Labour Party for 2014. Clearly, this manifesto is a blueprint of taking Dominica to become a country of prosperity, of peace, and of justice. It is therefore a document of the future, and the future belongs to the first-time voters and to the young children. And therefore, as a symbolic act of telling the youth of our country that the future of Dominica is in their hands, we will have the handing over of the Manifesto 2014 by the Honorable Prime Minister to 3 very young persons of the Commonwealth of Dominica. And I invite them now to come forward.
The first people who will be receiving a copy of this manifesto after me will be these 3 young people. Because, ladies and gentlemen, what we're doing and what we intend to do is all for them. I am working for your children. Labour is working to create a better Dominica for your children. So it is an investment in our children that we're doing. And I want to present these manifestos to my dear young people.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Brothers and sisters, one great black liberator in the United States of America, Malcolm X, stated that education was the passport to success. And our own great Caribbean economist, Sir Arthur Lewis, told us that development is the child of knowledge. The Dominica Labour Party has taken up those 2 great ideas and have created a platform to ensure that no child is left behind from preschool to graduate school. And the person who has been leading that charge in the government over the last 5 years is none other than Peter Pepper. It's my pleasure to invite him to address you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. Honorable Prime Minister and Party Leader, my fellow candidates, labor rights, labor rights. Tonight, I'm here to share with you on the issue of education. But ladies and gentlemen, fellow labor rights, unlike most other occasions, tonight I want to begin with a little story. The year was 1975, and the month was May. 45 students from the village of La Plaine wrote the common entrance examinations. Of the 45 students who wrote the exams that year, 7 of them made it to high school in the month of September. For the first time in his life, there was one young boy, 12 years old. For the first time, he left his mother's home and he was taken to Roseau. Being separated from home and family, he found himself living at a stranger's home. This young boy was placed at the St. Mary's Academy. And for the first time in his life, found himself among strangers, not knowing the streets of Roseau. And for the first 3 months, he cried his heart out, not being able to visit his family back on the east coast of Dominica because they were not able to give him $2 to pay the truck to get back to La Plaine. After exactly 5 years, he graduated from St. Mary's Academy. By 1994, his first child was ready to get into secondary school. By that time, there were buses in the village. And his son then had to commute from La Plaine to Roseau every day. That child was up at 5 o'clock in the morning. He had to catch a bus. And his parents then had to pay $80 every month. By the turn of 1 year, it had increased to $120. By 2002, the bus fare had increased to $200. And by 2005, the bus fare had increased to $240. This child and many others were found on the streets bumming ride into Roseau because for most of the parents, they could not afford to pay the bus fare. Ladies and gentlemen, my fellow Laborites, by 2005, a number of children from that part of the island had dropped out of high school. And it took Roosevelt's carrot and the Dominica Labour Party to step on the scene and provide free bus transportation for the children of Dominica to attend high school in Roseau. Brothers and sisters, this morning, at the launch of the manifesto, at the Dominica State College, I said, and I will say again, the $30 million Dominica State College is the crown jewel of the Dominica education system. Ladies and gentlemen, Roseau is the capital, the head of Dominica. And like a crown jewel, the Dominica State College sits on the hillside of Stock Farm, overlooking Roseau. Like a crown jewel, it is a marvel to behold. And it is a marvel to look at by day and a marvel that shines forth by night. I also said this morning, the Dominica State College is the engine of the Dominica education system. I want to talk to you tonight in more details about the vision that the Labour Party has for you, the young people of Dominica and the Dominica State College, as the engine of the education system of Dominica. I want you now to think of a train. It consists of an engine, a locomotive, and it consists of several cars. It is the engine, the locomotive, that pulls the cars along. The Dominica State College does the same for education here in Dominica. It is the highest. It is the lead institution in the Commonwealth of Dominica. Well, brothers and sisters, we have been experiencing an education revolution in Dominica under Roosevelt Skerrit and the Dominica Labour Party. The Dominica State College played a pivotal role in the education revolution. In fact, in 2002, the Dominica State College catered for 500 young students. By 2009, it was expanded to serve 1,500 young Dominicans. Today, brothers and sisters, 87% 87 out of every 100 secondary school graduates go to the Dominica State College. Many of them go on to pursue degrees at the University of the West Indies, in China, in Cuba, Venezuela, Mexico, the USA, Russia, and many other countries. As the engine of the Dominica education system, in the next term, when you, the people of Dominica, will have voted the Dominica Labour Party back into office, the Dominica State College has to train the workforce that we need to drive our economy. This will happen, my brothers and sisters, in stages. First and foremost, Dominica State College itself must make a radical change. During the next term, Dominica State College will continue our transformation into a modern, direct, relevant tertiary education facility, offering degree programs that meet not only the current skill needs, but also the future needs of our beloved country. To do so, the Dominica State College must alter its curricula to enhance its contribution to entrepreneurship and business development, as well as providing the new work skills that are the drivers of this new economy. This engine, the Dominica State College, will link to agriculture in order to modernize agriculture. It is there, my friends, in our manifesto. The Dominica Labour Party manifesto says very clearly, in the next term, the Dominica Labour Party government will ensure that every student at the Dominica State College will be provided with the necessary education and training to raise the status of agriculture among young students. The engine, my friends, is the Dominica State College, which will provide us with a solid education for the future of this nation. In order to move tourism, there again, the DLP manifesto is very clear. The DLP manifesto says, going forward, the Dominica Labour Party will upgrade the service skills and standards by increasing the training opportunities in collaboration with the Dominica State College. That engine, my friends, is the Dominica State College. Brothers and sisters, the education revolution so far has been about access to education. The Honorable Roosevelt Skerrit and the Dominica Labour Party has given every young Dominican the opportunity to access education at the early childhood stage, at primary stage, at secondary stage, and at the tertiary level. No longer do our children sit on the blocks not knowing where to turn, but every young Dominican is given the opportunity to access quality education. In the next phase of the education revolution, it must be about the relevance of education. And in the next phase, the student must ask, every young person must ask, what can my education do for me? The teacher must ask, how can I deliver education of the highest standard to the young people of Dominica? The public sector must ask, what can education do for me? The agriculture sector must ask, what can education do for me in my own profession? And the answer must be, education must be able to solve my problems. And the most critical challenge facing us today, my friends, is jobs. And education will take us out of poverty to a sustainable livelihood. Our education must relate to work. Our education, particularly tertiary level education, must relate to work. School, my dear brothers and sisters, must relate to work. The lecturer must talk to the farmer. The lecturer must talk to the hotelier. The lecturer must talk to the manufacturer. And we must hear all of them saying, what kind of worker do we need? What kind of a labor force do we require? What kind of soft skills do we require? And together, they must work. Together, we must provide the Dominican employer with exactly the type of worker that he requires. And in the midst of it all, my friends, there must be standards. And the standards, my brothers and sisters, are represented by TVET, Technical Vocational Education and Training. The standards are represented by CVQs. That is what I mean when I say the Dominica State College is the engine for the education system. And it must move agriculture. DSC must provide agriculture with the kind of workforce that today's technology demands. No more, no less. This, my friends, is the next stage for education in the Commonwealth of Dominica. This is the next phase of our education revolution. And so, brothers and sisters, as we ponder on the new Dominica, you from Scott's Head, you in Capuchin, you in Batica and Penville, must ask yourself one fundamental question: who it is who has what it takes to lead Dominica to the next level of education? Can we sacrifice an educated, youthful, dynamic leader for a leader who himself did not complete high school education? Can we sacrifice a bunch of men and women who are driven by a passion to lead for a bunch of men who do not even have jobs for themselves? And so I say to you tonight, we stand as a party ready to deliver to the people of Dominica, because the only way that we can work ourselves out of poverty to prosperity is through education. Thank you. May God bless you, and may God bless the Commonwealth of Dominica.
Labour! We're moving on, we're moving on, we're moving on. There is a lady from Paybush who has lived a life of service to her community and to Dominica. She has become and is continuing to be a cultural icon in Paybush, well known to respond to the needs of anyone who approaches her for assistance of one kind or another. I am referring to Rosalind Paul, the candidate for Paybush, who will bring home the Paybush seat to the Dominica Labour Party. Let us raise our hands and welcome Rosalind to the podium.
Labour Party, Dominica Labour Party. Labour Party, Dominica Labour Party. Wherever Sterry goes, we will follow, we will follow. Wherever Sterry goes, we will follow, we will follow. 'Cause Labour working, Labour working, Labour working for me, Labour working for you, Labour working, Labour working.
Labour, tonight is the night. Our manifesto is here. Labor is organized. Labor can deliver. Good night to the Honorable Prime Minister, to my fellow candidates, to you, Laborites, and all Dominicans and friends. Thank you to Dr. McIntyre for welcoming us here in such large numbers. And we want to lend full support to Dr. Mark in this valley. You know, Rosa Valley is very important, very, very important to ecotourism development and to energy. So we are pleased to be here and to look forward to further energy development in Dominica. Now, during the past 14 years, the Dominica Labour Party government has continued to provide support to families and communities. If the families in Dominica are undermined, if they cannot survive, then we cannot have a nation at all. So the Dominica Labour Party government has assisted families and communities to survive and contribute to the development of Dominica. The Dominica Labour Party government, after coming into office and inheriting a country in a situation of poor fiscal and economic situation, had to stabilize the economy. So first of all, the Labour Party had to stabilize the economy so that money could be provided, so that there would be sufficient to provide the safety and social support that the men and women of Dominica, that the disadvantaged people were really in need of, to send their children to school, to provide books, to provide uniforms, to provide transportation, to ensure that our children, every child, can have access to universal secondary and secondary education, to primary education, to Dominica State College. That is the work of the Dominica Labour Party. Now, with education, you are building the country. You are building the human resource. You are building a nation that we can all contribute to. So social support through education and training of our young people is the future, is ensuring that we have a future. The manifesto, the Dominica Labour Party manifesto, has carefully formulated programs and policies to take Dominica to the next level. It highlights the need to focus on the use of natural resources to generate income necessary to support social safety nets. A strong message of the Dominica Labour Party is that we will not give up until Dominica becomes a just society in which the wealth is distributed among the poor, until poverty is eradicated, until no man is trapped, no woman is trapped in poverty, until every woman, every man, every youth can survive and contribute to the country's development. And therefore, a range of social services is included in the manifesto to continue to provide care, for example, to the elderly persons. the elderly persons who have contributed so tremendously to ensure that without pay, they would take care of the children, send the children to school, so that today these children are functioning persons in society. Often, the work that women, for example, do, raising children, is not valued. But without the women in the home to care for the children, to care for the elderly, we could not have a good society. We could not have a functioning society. And so, we think of the Yes We Care program, which has brought relief to the poor persons, to the senior persons in our society, to those who have been neglected, that through the visionary leader, Honorable Prime Minister Roosevelt Skerrit. The Yes We Care is a very important program in Dominica. And now the senior persons can enjoy a $200 compensation package. A compensation package that will allow them to pay their little water bill, that will allow them to pay their little light bill, that will allow them to have a little meal. We cannot forget the housing assistance that will continue. The housing assistance that benefits low-income persons. The housing assistance that benefits those who would never have been able to face a bank. Those who would never have been able to face mortgage. That is what the housing assistance does. Further, housing assistance, when you have a roof over your head, you have a sense of achievement, you have a sense of belonging, you feel a sense of pride. So, you no longer have a leak over your head, you can live in a healthy home, your young ones can study in an environment that is conducive. So, this is what Labour is bringing to you, has brought to you, and will continue to bring. Your quality of life, the quality of life of Dominicans have already been improved through sports, and this will be further improved through sports, through culture, through the arts. Assistance, support to small business has been provided. Now, one of the things we do not think of, and many of the critics do not understand, they do not understand equity, they do not understand that we need to distribute wealth, they do not understand that we need to take care of our families, and they have no place in government if they do not understand that. Support, for example, to small business allows women to stay close to the home while they earn. They can stay in their little shop, they can stay in their little restaurant, they can earn and still provide care for the elderly and still provide care for the children. So they are playing the dual roles. Further, the Dominica Labour Party adopted a gender policy in 2006, which seeks to address the issues that continue to confront the men and women of Dominica. The Dominica Labour Party has empowered local authorities. The Dominica Labour Party ensures that it helps or supports the projects and programs done by our village councils. It ensures that it brings the services right to your door in the communities through the local authorities. The Dominica Labour Party, through its programming, the Youth Development Division, the Business Training, Business Trust, the Adult Education Division, they ensure through this program that you can be empowered, you can be trained, you can earn a living, both men and women as well as the youth. And so, in the next 5 years, during the next 5 years, the Dominica Labour Party will continue to provide support to institutions that address issues that affect families, the poor, the vulnerable communities. The Dominica Labour Party in its manifesto articulates its intention to promote and execute skills training, material and financial support to steer community persons into enterprise development so that they can continue to contribute to their own personal development and that of the nation. The manifesto of the Dominica Labour Party names a large number of international agencies which have come to the rescue of Dominica, like the Chinese, the Venezuelans, the UN agencies, EU, which has come to the rescue of Dominica with concessionary grants and loans and funded projects. These institutions have pledged their commitment to projects and programs chosen to take Dominica to the next level. And so we thank this institution very, very deeply. Okay. There. In conclusion, I want to stress that this manifesto is based on an impeccable record of achievement, an enlightened approach to governance, and a commitment to sustainable development. It offers a clear path to transforming Dominica into a prosperous and peaceful and just society. The promises the manifesto makes are realistic and they are fully supported by the necessary finance. The Dominica Labour Party needs your support to pursue our shared vision for a better Dominica. Without these enlightened policies and realistic programs, Dominica will regress. Dominica will regress to be in a poor state. So therefore, we ask you on December 8th, very early in the morning, that you put on your shoes, you ensure you pray, and you put your votes, you put your X next to the shoe. Vote the Dominica Labour Party. Vote for continued transformation of Dominica. Vote for families. Vote for communities. Vote for single women. Vote for the elderly. Vote for your future. The future is bright with Labour. Vote Labour. Labour all the way. Labour ka travail. Labour ka travail plus word. Encore 5 more years for the Dominica Labour Party.
Labour working, 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 Labour working. Change, real change. Dominica is on the rise. Yes, we're changing people's lives. Change, real change. I tell you, Labour working, people smiling, with sunshine in their eyes. That is change. That is change. They say they want change in this land. They only try their best to fool Dominicans. One smart end up at two smart door. The people say the change come after 2000 for sure. Now the country's smiling again. They had to run away from the stress and now the strain. Yes, the country's smiling again.
Yes, labor rights. Labor ka travail. Yes, yes, yes. We're getting there, we're getting there. And we have 2 more speakers to address you before we ask the Honorable Prime Minister to wrap up our proceedings. Now, he's a gentleman who has been Minister of Foreign Affairs. He is Dominica's permanent representative to the United Nations. He is chairman of SIDS-DOC, an organization of small island developing states that mobilizes resources for small island states like ours to combat the effects of climate change. He is a gentleman, therefore, who knows the importance of knowing people who know people in the international community. It is my distinct pleasure, ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, to invite Honorable Ambassador Dr. Vince Henderson to speak to us about not tampering with our foreign relations.
Labor working, labor working, labor working, labor working, labor working, labor working. Change, real change. Dominica is on the rise. Yes, we're changing people's lives. Change, real change.
Thank you very much, Mr. Eddie Lambert. Fellow Laborites, a special good evening to you and to the many Dominicans who are listening, especially to those who are still sitting on the fences wondering where they should vote on December 8th. But tonight, we come to the Roseau Valley to launch our plan for the next 5 years. One thing is certain about this plan is that once it is led by Roosevelt Skerrit, you know these plans will be fulfilled. Brothers and sisters, sometimes when I listen to the other side, and even looking at them going through their campaign, sometimes I just feel like laughing. But if it wasn't such a serious and important decision to be made, I would really be laughing. But tonight, I cannot laugh because December 8th is a very serious matter. The decisions that Dominicans are called to make on December 8th is a very, very, very serious one. And this is why tonight I beg your indulgence. I beg of you to listen to me for a few minutes, because tonight I want to talk about one thing, and that is Dominica's foreign policy. I know tonight there are many of them who perhaps wish I was somewhere in New York taking some fouedi veillée in the UN building. But tonight I am here to join the brothers and sisters of Labour and Prime Minister Skerrit to ensure that Labour continues to be the one to determine Dominica's foreign policy. And this is why tonight I am here with you. For the past 14 years, we have heard the other side criticize Prime Minister Skerrit and the Dominican Labour Party for using our tool of foreign relations to develop our country. We have heard them refer to Prime Minister Skerrit as a beggar. We have heard them say all manner of evil about him for a simple reason, that he, unlike them, when they were in office from 1995 to 2000, has been able to use Dominica foreign policy as a tool for developing Dominica. And today, the evidence are all around us. But I ask you, when you think of beautiful Dominica, we all agree that it is also a very difficult place to develop. It is more expensive to build 1 kilometer of road in Dominica than any other island in the Caribbean. It is more expensive to maintain 1 mile of road in Dominica than anywhere else in the Caribbean. When we remember where we were in 2000, we realized that Dominica on its own cannot provide for all the people of Dominica. And this is why we have resorted to making friends throughout the world to help us to develop Dominica. So those who sit down and criticize our foreign policy, they simply don't get it. But brothers and sisters, this foreign policy, I want to tell you tonight, I want to give you a little facts. In 1978, when Dominica became independent, we started establishing foreign relations with countries. By 1995, Dominica had established relations with 31 countries throughout the world. By 2000, when the United Workers' Party left government, guess how many they had increased it to? In 5 years. They had only increased it by 5. That is to say that the UWP only made 5 friends in 5 years in office. They missed out on a great opportunity to use foreign policy to develop Dominica. They didn't go out there to find any new friends for Dominica. But I want to tell you that by 2014, up to today, under the leadership of Roosevelt Skerrit, the Dominica Labour Party has brought that number to 96 countries. We have made about 60 new friends since taking the reins of office in Dominica. But it did not end there. These were not merely signing documents recognizing other countries. We were able to develop relationships that help to transform Dominica. And today, the evidence are all around us. When we look at the West Coast Road, we can see the results of the hard work of the Prime Minister and the Dominica Labour Party. The gift from the People's Republic of China extend from social to economic development of our people. And this is why December 8th is a very serious matter. December 8th is not simply about going to the ballot, but going to the polling station, to vote a candidate of your choice. It is more than that. It is taking a decision to determine the future of Dominica. It is taking a decision to determine who are the friends of Dominica. During the 5 years of the UWP and up to today, they continue to tell us that this is what they will do. They only had one friend, and that was Taiwan. But you know what the province of Taiwan used to do to the Prime Minister, Edison James, during the 5 years? They would write a whole paragraph for him to go to the United Nations to say. They would instruct him on exactly what words he should share with the world. And in return, they would take care of the ministers of the United Workers' Party. They would go around with pineapples and sweet corn throughout Dominica. That was their foreign policy. Today, they talk about recognizing a rebel group, a rebel government in exile called the Polisarios. And I want to tell you a little thing about that. The Polisarios is a small group that continue to fight the government of Morocco. And any party, any country that recognizes the Polisarios, they are not friends of the government and people of Morocco. But do you understand what that means for us in Dominica? It means that the hotel, the Cabrit Spa and Resort that is being built with funds from the government of Morocco, we don't know what would happen to that 13 million US investment. It could well be that the government of Morocco could ask us to repay them. That is what the United Workers' Party is seeking to do for Dominica. So the only friends that they have is to continue with the province of Taiwan and the Polisarios. Now, the Polisarios, as I said, they are a group of people who are fighting the government. We know what ISIS is doing to the governments in Syria and Iraq. That's the friends of the United Workers' Party. That is the friend that they can talk about to be able to create 5,000 jobs in 3 years. But tonight, when we come to you, we know where we are going to get the financing for all the promises that we have made in our manifesto. We know because we have a leader who has exemplified himself in the OECS, in CARICOM, in Alba, in the OAS, and throughout the world. And sometimes, I know Prime Minister is a modest man. He's not a boastful man. This is a humble man. He's not a boastful man. But I know that Prime Minister Skerrit from time to time has been called by governments throughout the world to advise them on very serious issues. The King of Morocco is a personal friend of Roosevelt Skerrit. And I know that he has invited him on several occasions to advise him on how they should pursue their foreign policy throughout the Caribbean and the Americas. So I ask you this. On December 8th, when we go to cast our votes, the question is, are you going to leave a Prime Minister, a leader, who has brought Dominican name to the highest level throughout the world, who has used the tool of foreign relations to develop Dominica? Are you going to choose a man who has no experience in government, a party that has no friends anywhere in the world except for a group of rebels? That is the decision that we will be making. So all those tonight who are listening but are still having doubts, that are saying, bon Dieu, I myself, I don't vote in Labour again, because so long I send the paper and my pal-rep didn't bring the thing to the minister and I not getting the thing. But I ask you this, if you don't vote for Labour and by some accident the UWP and Lennox Linton get in office, not only because they will punish you for keeping them out of office for the past 15 years, but because they have no ways of getting any money to do anything for anyone in Dominica. And I know I have some friends who say, you know, Labour Party has done a lot for Dominica, but I'm still not sure. I ask you this, are you going to trust Dominica's foreign relations in the hands of a man who has demonstrated that he does not have what it takes? Are you going to trust Lennox Linton? Are you going to trust the Workers' Party? Brothers and sisters, I can tell you about all of the things that we have been able to do through the One China policy. I can tell you what we've been able to do with the help of our friends from the Bolivarian Republic of Venezuela. I can tell you of all the things we have accomplished with support from the government, the Kingdom of Morocco, our friends in the Republic of Cuba. The list goes on and on. But at the end of the day, we have to ensure that we take the decisions in the interest of Dominica and Dominicans. Whatever we do on December 8th will be our children's future. And therefore, we must take this decision very seriously. Because when we listen to what is being offered, when we listen up to the criticisms, we realize that the opposition, the other side, is bankrupt of ideas, bankrupt of friends, and does not have a clear plans for Dominica's development. But before I go, there is one more thing that I want to mention to you. Because sometimes Prime Minister Skerrit does some major things that because he does it so well, we think it's so easy. When last did Dominica, or has Dominica, ever had a Dominican at any major regional or international organization? Have we ever had a Secretary General of CARICOM before? Have we ever had a Director General of the Pan-American Health Organization before? Today, we can boast of Dominicans heading these very, very important organizations. But they did not just get there. they were able to get elected because Prime Minister Skerrit has influence, he has friends, and he was able to get them elected. Do you believe that Lennox Linton would be able to do that for Dominican? So brothers and sisters, as we celebrate our victory, let's not forget. Let's not forget that December 8th is a very important decision to be made. And in spite of what you may be angry about, set it aside. Let it go. Because we have to win these elections so that we can get back to the job, to deliver to the people of Dominica, to improve their lives, to improve the lives of our children, and to ensure that we can continue to work hard for a better Dominica. Brothers and sisters, your future is safe with Labour. Let's continue to support Labour. Let us ensure that we turn out to vote. Let us bring our neighbors to vote so that on the night of December 8th, we will again be celebrating another Labour Party victory for the people of Dominica. Thank you very much.
Labour working, Labour working, Labour working, Labour working. Change, real change. Dominica is on the rise. Yes, we're changing people's lives. Change, real change. I tell you, Labour working, people smiling with sunshine in their eyes. That is change. That is change. They say they want change in this land.
Labour, we're rolling, we're rolling, we're rolling. Now we understand that the favorite pastime of at least one of them on the other side is gambling. But gambling is a dangerous thing, brothers and sisters. In the process of gambling, you not only lose all your property, but you lose your very soul itself. But we Labourites are not about gambling. We are not about gambling the future of Dominica to any group of vagabonds and gamblers. And here to speak with us tonight on the future being saved with Labour is Honorable Ambrose George, the Deputy Leader of the Dominica Labour Party. Let us welcome him.
RC, these are the things I see right in front of me. As I open my eyes, I give thanks to life above us. As the days go by, out comes the sun, I face again. Grades get me high so I can meditate. Dreams of highest grades we blaze. Dreams of brighter days. Giving thanks, giving thanks, giving thanks as the days goes by.
Giving thanks. Brothers and sisters, a very pleasant good night to all the Labourites here in the valley. And to all the Labourites listening to us here on this very important launching of our manifesto for 2014. Honorable Prime Minister and political leader, my fellow candidates, the people of the Rosa Valley. Hello! Thank you, thank you. Thank you. Labour! You there, you there. I bring you greetings from the Roseau South constituency. And in the Roseau South constituency, the future is safe with Labour. Let me give you a little history. I joined the Dominica Labour Party in 1994 upon the request of deceased Rosie Douglas. Rosie Douglas came to my home and asked me to join the Dominica Labour Party. And I did so. And looking back today, I can safely say that having taken the decision to join the Dominica Labour Party in 1994 is probably one of the most important decisions that I took in my life. And I have no regrets, brothers and sisters, for having joined the Dominica Labour Party. In fact, when I joined the party in 1994, I was made the president of the Dominica Labour Party. I held that position for a few years. Then I was elected as the deputy leader of the Dominica Labour Party. And I have held that position up until today. I spent 5 years, or really 4.5 years, in opposition as a senator of the Dominica Labour Party. And those 4.5 years, brothers and sisters, that experience that I had between 1995 and 2000, as long as I live, do not want to spend a day in opposition again, brothers and sisters. I do not want to spend a day with the United Workers' Party and to be in opposition, brothers and sisters. Never. Never again, brothers and sisters. And that is why I have stood strong with the Dominica Labour Party. That is why I continue to do my best as the deputy leader of the party to ensure that we remain strong and well-structured and organized as a political party. Brothers and sisters, the United Workers' Party almost brought Dominica to his knees for the 4.5 years that they spent in government. We inherited, as a party when we came in 2000, brothers and sisters, a very serious situation. A situation, brothers and sisters, where we found in the Treasury $55 million of unpaid checks to the service providers in Dominica. We found a situation where the government was owing the Dominica Social Security about $23 million, brothers and sisters. We found a situation where the DBMC, the exporter of our bananas, had a debt of $30 million, brothers and sisters. We found a situation where our debt to GDP ratio was about 130%, brothers and sisters. We had to fix the situation. We had to face the music, and the music was rough, brothers and sisters. And in the process, we lost 2 prime ministers, brothers and sisters.
We lost Rosie Douglas, who lasted for only 8 months, brown sisters. And then we lost Pierre Charles in 2004, January 2004, brown sisters. During that period, we also went through a structural adjustment program with the International Monetary Fund. And the situation, again, was very rough on us, on our backs, as Dominicans. And we know what we experienced. And I do not have to go through that with you tonight, brown sisters. We all remember the hardships that we had to endure. And all of that hardship was a result of the mismanagement of the country, the mismanagement of the economy of Dominica by the United Workers' Party. But then came in 2004, brown sisters, our 31-year-old, young, energetic, dimpled, brilliant, visionary leader, Roosevelt Skerritt of Vieques, brown sisters. They call him a little boy. They call him a little boy with toys, brown sisters. But that did not move Roosevelt Skerritt in any negative way, brown sisters. In other words, the more they criticize Roosevelt Skerritt, the stronger and more resilient he came, brown sisters. Then things began to unfold. Things began to unfold. And we began to see some positive movements in the economy of our country. We began to see a foreign policy adopted. And you... One second.
Hello. Hello. Put those umbrellas down for 1 minute. Breaking news. Breaking news. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't gossip. The Timfu was under serious pressure from its supporters, saying to them that Skerritt showed his manifesto last Saturday. Where is UWP manifesto? Ladies and gentlemen, Dominicans, the UWP just posted on their Facebook page that they will have no manifesto for this election. Ladies and gentlemen, we have told you that the only party that is serious about Dominica and Dominicans is the Dominica Labour Party. This guy's not ready. They're telling Skerritt, call elections, call it now. Well, Skerritt call elections. And up to now, Linton cannot start his election campaign. Ladies and gentlemen, that is a serious matter. Because I can tell you that the Labour Party has 15,000 printed manifestos in Dominica tonight. 15,000 copies of our manifesto will be circulated from tonight in Dominica, ladies and gentlemen. And I can tell you, those of you with your smartphones now, you can go online at www.laborcatralvi.com/manifesto, and you will get a copy online. www.laborcatralvi.com/manifesto, and you will find the Dominica Labour Party 2014 manifesto online, ladies and gentlemen. And that is what we're telling you for so many years, that Linton is a fraud, a political fraud, and there's no way we can elect Lennox Linton as Prime Minister of Dominica. Here it is. And I am going to Granford on Saturday in Thompson Fountain, because this is a waste of time. A man who has worked with the IMF and saying how many jobs he can get, not even like a manifesto he can put together. Ladies and gentlemen, in 1957 and in 1961, Labour had a manifesto. And you're telling me, in the second decade of the 21st century, if all the brains they say they have in UWP, you cannot put a manifesto together? Ladies and gentlemen, this is serious business. Running a country is serious business. And if you cannot run a campaign, how are you going to run a country made up of 72,000 people? So thus, the rest of us in Dominica, the people in Dominica who have not made up their minds, and Laborites who are still saying they may not vote for Labour, you decide what you want for your country, what you want for yourself, and what you want for your children. Because tonight Labour is saying to you what it has done for the country and what it shall do in the next 5 years. So ladies and gentlemen, I am not surprised they had no manifesto, because Linton is the laziest man in Dominica. Linton is the laziest man in Dominica. Unproductive, lazy, failure. And if I could say how failure in Kwakwai, I would say it too. Where is the failure? Ladies and gentlemen, a man who has a family and sits down home morning, noon and night watching cartoon cannot run a country. Cannot run a country. Ladies and gentlemen, you have children, some of you. I know you. You have children, 6, 5, 4, 5 children, and you're going to UE, you're online doing courses to improve yourself. And Linton sit down in Dominica for 20 years doing nothing. All he does is go to St. Kitts and Antigua and to curse people, to curse them. That's what he's known for. My ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, Dominicans, take notice. Take notice. This election is serious business. That will decide whether Dominica moves forward or it goes backward with a bunch of lazy men and women calling themselves Team Dominica. So ladies and gentlemen, God is good. God is really, really good. God is good, ladies and gentlemen. God is really, really good, because he has shown us that Linton is a political fraud. A political fraud. What he is, coming Dominican calling our ladies prostitute. And you expect me to vote for you? Linton is a cursed man, and the good Lord will curse him for disrespecting women. Ladies and gentlemen, I am saying to you that this election is serious business. And you have to go out in large numbers on December 8th and ensure that Labour wins a landslide in Dominica again. You have to ensure this, because, I mean, these guys, if they had any pride, in themselves, they would say, okay, no nomination for us, we are running again, because we are ready. But we have to continue to ensure that they do not get into office by any other means, ladies and gentlemen. So I challenge you to go out on December 8th to vote. Because if you cannot tell us your plans for Dominica, what are we voting you for? On what basis are we voting you? What are you going to do for me and for my children in the next 5 years? Nothing. Because Linton, the house husband, wants to be Prime Minister of Dominica. A lazy man, ladies and gentlemen, as Prime Minister of a country, if you're serious about work, you have to work no less than 16 hours a day to run this country. And Linton, who has sat at his home for 20 years and have done nothing, and so long they're calling for elections. So long they're calling for elections. So long they're calling for elections, ladies and gentlemen. And yet, they're saying on their Facebook, they will not be able to have a manifesto. And you know what, finally, before I bring Ambrose back, there is a show tomorrow night. There is a show tomorrow night at the Iraq House of Culture featuring Team Fu. UWP Team Fu tomorrow, ladies and gentlemen, where they'll be launching their candidates at the Iraq House of Culture. Ladies and gentlemen, the only thing you have at the Iraq House of Culture are plays, shows, concerts, ladies and gentlemen. So that's where they're going to launch their candidates tomorrow night. Clearly, they're ready. Clearly, they're not serious. And clearly, we shall not vote for the United Workers' Party on December 8th. We're going all the way with Labour. All the way with Labour. All the way with Labour. All the way with progress and development, ladies and gentlemen. I thank you.
You're too full. You're too full. Tell them I say that. You're too full. Ministers. Tell them I say that.
Warning. Dominica, lock the front door. Not keep low.
Left the line of sun and rainbow. America, them boys go. Did you like the breaking news? Thank you. I don't even believe I should be talking anymore after that breaking news. No, really? Really, truly. But let me just say a few more words to you. In 2009, you gave the Dominica Labour Party a clear mandate, 18-3. And we saw a number of things happening in Dominica that should have been done 30 and 40 years ago. Now we are moving from 2014 into a new term of office. And I've always said, brothers and sisters, that the Dominica Labour Party is the only organized political party in Dominica, brothers and sisters. And we see that unfolding before our eyes day after day, brothers and sisters. There's none other. There's none other but the Dominica Labour Party. We have presented you, my dear people, with an excellent family of candidates. Candidates with a track record of performance in and out of politics, brothers and sisters. Those of us who have been in the politics, our performance is there to see. Those of us who are entering the politics, their performance out of politics is also there to see, brothers and sisters. So let me tell you why we believe that the future is safe with Labour. Very soon, brothers and sisters, we will be having a new state-of-the-art hospital, a new hospital in Marigot, an expanded hospital in Portsmouth, a new hotel in Bell Hall, Portsmouth, a new hotel on the site of the Public Works Corporation, We will see the coffee processing plant come into operation. We will see the operation of the abattoir coming through, brown sisters. We will see the continuation of the agricultural horticultural program. We will see the continuation of the national employment program. We will see the continuation of our very successful education program. We will see the continuation of the public support program, brown sisters. We will see the rehabilitation of the East Coast roads, brown sisters. We will see the continuation of a very robust and aggressive foreign policy, brown sisters. We will see the construction of a new international airport. We will see, brown sisters, the Dominica State College offering first degrees to our young people in Dominica. We will see, brown sisters, the installation of street lights on our highways and our secondary roads, brown sisters. We will see the enhancement, Roseau Enhancement Project and the Portsmouth Enhancement Project coming to fruition, brown sisters. We will see geothermal energy come on stream, brown sisters. We will see the purchase of a boat for fresh produce, export of our fresh produce, brown sisters. We will see the operations of our packing houses. We will see 100% supply of potable water to every home in Dominica, brown sisters. We will see the continuation of the housing revolution. Housing apartments in Buffer State, housing apartments in Emsall, and soon you will see the commencement of the second phase of apartments in Silver Lake, brown sisters. We will see the eradication of pit latrines in Dominica, brown sisters. We will see the $200 contribution to people who are 70 years and older, brown sisters. What I want to say to you, brown sisters, all that I've mentioned, that the money has been identified, the funding have been identified for all of those projects, brown sisters. All the money has been secured for those projects, brown sisters. What it means is job for Dominicans, increased economic activity, improvement in the standard of living of our people, brown sisters. The future is safe with Labour, brown sisters. Who do you want for Prime Minister? Who do you want for Prime Minister? Who do you want for the Rosa Valley? Who do you want for Rosa Central? Who do you want for Rosa North? Who do you want for Soufriere? Who do you want for Grand Bay? Who do you want for Petit Savane? Who do you want for Lapland? Who do you want for Monjon? Who do you want for Classe Bros? Who do you want for Salibia? Who do you want for Marigot? Christmas, Dr. Christmas for Christmas. Who do you want for Wesley? Who do you want for Pebush? Who do you want for Vickers? Who do you want for Cottage? Who do you want for Portsmouth? Who do you want for Collio? Who do you want for Salisbury? Who do you want for St. Joe? Who do you want for Mao? Who do you want for Rosa South? The future is safe with labor. The future is safe with labor. The future is safe with labor. 5 more years. 5 more years. 5 more years. One for labor. I thank you, Francis.
Lock your front door. Mad people out.
Every line of sun and rainbow. America, them boys go.
America blasting the stuff. See them like some Eskimos.
I heard Shirley had a box collecting money for Lennox. For the whole arrangement, what you sending anger management?
Workers.
Mute a bookie.
Yow yow. Jokers. Cafe magic to battle. Up to now, you haven't spoken about your plan.
Labour! Well, you have it, you have it. One announcement to you. The manifesto will be available to you tomorrow morning in the various constituency offices. Brothers and sisters, don't get excited. We don't have any more copies of the manifesto. Check your constituency offices tomorrow morning and you will get a copy of the manifesto. Now our final speaker tonight is supposed to be the Prime Minister, Honorable Roosevelt Sperrit. Let us once again invite him to bring our proceedings to a close.
Oh, hello. Just to say to you that clearly we could not distribute all the manifestos here tonight. But you will get them first thing tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. at your constituency offices. We have 15,000 copies, so every home will be able to get one. So ensure that you get one from your candidate from 8 a.m. tomorrow morning. Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you for being here tonight. We move to Point Michel tomorrow from 7 p.m. Then we go to Grand Fond on Saturday at 7 p.m. And then to Baffin State. Then to Baffin State on Sunday from 3 p.m., ladies and gentlemen. So, see you tomorrow. God bless you. Keep the faith. Labour is working. Labour is on course for victory. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, and God bless you. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, there is a band from Roseau North called Signal Band who have offered to entertain you until you are ready to leave. The Signal Band from Roseau North. Good night and have a very safe trip home, those of you leaving.
Yes, sir. Yeah.